In many cases, one of the first investments after buying a home is a new fence. An Omaha couple learned an expensive lesson about making sure it's on their side of the backyard.
Mike McKnight looks into the questions every homeowner should ask as First Alert 6 investigates.
Mila and Sky needed more room to roam, so months ago, Jen and Von Thompson hired a fence contractor to surround their backyard. But they didn't expect paper would stop installation of the wood.
The city of Omaha inspector came out and red flagged us, meaning that this has to be stopped. The east fence line here is encroaching on the neighbor's property.
Though posts running from 1 to 3.5 inches over the survey line on one side in question may not seem too far into the neighbor's yard, however, the couple's attorney says encroachment is no game, even in inches.
It's a big deal. Anytime you go onto someone else's property, you're taking from them. They have a right to come back against you to remove that fence. Again, it's costs that are just waiting to happen.
The owner of Walker Wood Fences and More tells me he always tries to fix errors and make the homeowner happy.
What we would like to do, what we hired our attorney for, is we want our money back.
But the contractor told me he has insurance and they needed to file a claim. I passed that information on to the homeowners.
We had to hire a new fence company.
Their new fence now meets code. It's on the straight and narrow inside their property line, but the couple still has bills coming in for this replacement, and they filed a claim with the first contractor's insurance. Their claim included a broken sprinkler.
This is where it's supposed to be.
Along with reinstalling the fence so it's no longer encroaching.
Always ask if they're bonded, if they're insured. Those are not offensive questions. Ask.
After the couple waited several weeks for an adjuster's decision,
Resolved. Either give us an answer one way or another.
I contacted the insurance carrier, Farm Bureau, which declined to comment. But Jen says she received a settlement offer on their claim, though she doesn't want to risk it by saying how much.
It took time, it took effort, it took getting you involved as we were just spinning our wheels, not getting anywhere, and just a happy resolution to put this behind us.
But Jen says she's looked forward to letting her dogs play and stay in a secure backyard. In Northwest Omaha, I'm Mike McKnight, First Alert 6.
The customer confirmed she just received a settlement check from the contractor's insurance. And to avoid going through those steps, check with the planning department for an up-to-date contractor's license if your city or county requires one, and then find out if permits are needed.